And welcome back to AEW and to AEW Double or Nothing 2024 out of 10. The event marked the 5-year anniversary of AEW, and the card was appropriately packed with title bout, grab matches to celebrate the occasion, and much more. So we're going to get straight into it with the buy-in matches, starting off with Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa, who kicked things off, and both women showed up in special gear. Lamela was challenging Elvis Presley with her look. These are two of the best tech wrestlers in the division, so this bout had a lot of great exchanges. Some of Purrazzo's attacks looked especially stiff, but Rosa is a pro and sold it all perfectly. The Virtuoso was able to get the win with a pinning combination and some help from the ropes. And Joe on the whole gets 7 out of 10 from me. I thought this was a really good match. Purrazzo getting a much needed victory was good for her. Thunder Rosa being defeated is a shame, but I think Purrazzo needed it more, and I think both of them showcase how good they are with this match. We then got the Acclaimed against the Gates of Agony. The match had a lot of crowd interaction, taunting among the competitors, so the fans were very vocal. They incorporated a lot of double and triple team moves, especially Cage and the Gates of Agony. While this was decent, it felt somewhat out of place and would have been maybe a better fit on a Dynamite or Collision. The Machine tried to use a steel chair, but Las Vegas Golden Knights mascot stopped him, allowing Billy Gunn to get the win. And Jay gets a 5 out of 10 from me. Like I say, maybe didn't feel like quite pay-per-view worthy. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Compared to the other match on the pre-show, wasn't as good as that either. And yeah, kind of just felt like a silly finish as well, which I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of in this match. But anyway, it was then time to move on to the main card. Strong versus Ospreay for the international title. And yeah, Ospreay got a huge pop as he came out. Taven and Bennett were by the champion side, but Wardlow was nowhere to be seen. The aerial assassin didn't want to wait after Strong while he was posing in the ring, so he ref called for the bell. The fight spilled out of the ring almost immediately, and both men were left thrown left and right. The Kingdom interfered and hit a double team move on Ospreay that almost ended in disaster when he landed on his head. The ref checked on him as he said he would continue. As the Kingdom tried to distract the ref, Wardlow showed it, but the ref saw him and made him leave the ring before he could hit a powerbomb. Ospreay took out the entire Undisputed Kingdom with a corkscrew from the top rope before going after the champ. These two men have reputations as being incredibly gifted, so it seemed almost effortless to put on a banger. They worked brilliantly together. Strong began selling a neck injury, and Ospreay looked concerned, but Callis fired him up and told him to use a Tiger Dry. He retired. Strong managed to counter at the last second to avoid the aerial assassin, but he ended up getting the win after a picture perfect Stormbreaker. And yeah, this gets an 8 out of 10 for me. A brilliant match to kick off the pay-per-view. Great storytelling throughout. Ospreay finally winning the big one. And yeah, dissension as well within the Undisputed Kingdom potentially. I thought this was all great, and yeah, can't wait to see what Ospreay continues to the belt. A brilliant match to start off the show. 8 out of 10. We then got the Bang Bang Gang taking on Death Triangle for the Trios titles. Adam Cole made a surprise appearance and yelled at the crowd about how he didn't know who he was, Dante from Clerks. He then pulled out the Devil Mask before a video began to play for MJF, the former AEW World Champion music here, and he came out in a leather jacket and denim vest, similar to Triple H's look at MSG 2002, kicked Cole below the belt and hit a DDT. He grabbed the mic and gave a promo while Cole was helped to the back. Yeah, didn't see MJF coming back this quickly, but so glad he's back. The pop he got was amazing. The new character he's got as well, and yeah, can't wait to see that feud finally get underway. It's been a long time coming, but yeah, so pleased he's back and back doing what he does best. Before Jay White and Pac were going to start, but Switchblade did the heel thing and tagged out, so his babyface rival needed to wait to get his hands in. The match had a lot of great individual moments, but there was something off about the pace. Things even out as the action progressed, thankfully. White and Pac's rivalry took centre stage, but all 6 men had standout moments. Juice Robinson showed up and tricked Pac on the top rope. This allowed White to get the pin for his team. So yeah, I thought this was a really fun match, protecting both teams as well. So yeah, I thought it was really good, and gets 7 out of 10 from me. Tony Storm and Serena Deeb then fought for the Women's Championship. During the lead up to this, Deeb said this would be the best women's match in AEW history. From the moment the bell rang, you could tell both women were trying to repeat that. They still incorporated some comedy spots here, but for the most part, this was a highly competitive exchange between two talented wrestlers. Mariah May and Luther at ringside stayed out of the action for a long time, which was good because it allowed them to concentrate on each other. Even though the Professor was playing as the babyface, the crowd was clearly behind Tony. It didn't affect how they performed, but it still took the wind out of Deeb's sails during her comebacks. While this may not go down as the best women's match in history, it's a strong performance. May wanted to throw in the towel for Storm, and Luther stopped her. Storm escaped the hole she was in and threw the towel into the crowd. Deeb came close to winning several times before Timeless Tony hits Tombstone Zeros for the victory, and gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I thought this was a really good match. I think definitely delivered on what they could do. A really fun match. Definitely wouldn't mind them running back again. I think in the end, with the storyline element there, definitely the right decision for Timeless Tony to retain. Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta were back in action, and Orange Cassidy came out with his old entrance music, which was nice. For the first couple of minutes, Cassidy and Beretta went shot for art. Whenever one man did the other did the other. Beretta finally got the upper hand, but not for long. They did a good job of telling a story. They didn't just feel like a series of spots, it felt like everything they did made sense for their feud. The pace was a bit slower than expected in some places, but not in a way that hurt the match. Cassidy was able to roll over Beretta in a brilliant combination to get the win after failing to beat him with his usual finishes. Beretta looked absolutely devastated after the loss. He didn't even try to get revenge, he just slowly walked away with his head down through the crowd. So yeah, that adds an intriguing element for Beretta after a tough start to his run as a heel, and Cheats Hero goes next. Potentially Don Callis, someone else wants to re-invitalise him, but yeah, big win for Cassidy, and I'm intrigued to see what both do next, to be honest. 7 out of 10. Before it's time for Jericho, Hook and Shibata for the FTW title, the learning tree went right after Hook when the bell rang, but Shibata and Hook were almost working together. Jericho dumped a bag of dice on the mat, but Hook and Shibata ended up suplexing him onto the pile before he could use into the advantage. There was a scary moment when these two were supposed to fall onto Jericho and go for a table, but the table didn't break and everyone crashed hard. Big Bill eventually showed up and helped Jericho escape Red Rum, but Hook put him through the table at ringside, and Masked Man showed up and attacked Shibata and Hook before revealing himself to be the bounty hunter. Jericho stole the win and left without checking on Keith and Bill. This is predictable, but still entertaining. Keith joining Jericho doesn't make much sense, so we're going to need an explanation soon. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed about Jericho winning, and yeah, I'm still not sure about the Keith bit, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10, but at the same time, I'll give it time to see where it goes. As we got Mox against Takeshita, and Takeshita was out first for this elimination match. If he were to win here, he would earn a future shot. This was the third singles match between these two. Mox won the first two, but Takeshita was looking to make sure it wasn't a hat-trick. Mox came into this match with an injured arm, so Takeshita focused all of his offense to exasperate the injury. They worked at slow, methodical pace, so Mox could sell every big move, but once he began to build some momentum, they started moving a bit quicker. The majority of this match was a dominant performance from Konosuke. He was probably responsible for 90% of the offense, but Mox still ended up getting a win. This was completely different from everything else on the show in a good way. Even though Takeshita would have benefited from a lot of victory, he still came away looking strong. And yeah, these two always have bangers, so I still remember that match on Rampage, which was brilliant. So yeah, on the whole, it gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Before it was time for Adam Copeland against Malachi Black, and the most gruesome stipulation on the card in a barbed wire steel cage. Copeland came out through the stage surrounded by a ring of fire, just like he used to during his Brood days. They wasted no time going for some of the weapons that were in the cage. Both men were bleeding within minutes, but Black's wound looked worse. They eventually used a barbed wire to inflict more damage upon each other. This was exactly what you would expect when it came to this format. There was very little wrestling and lots of weapon spots and blood. If you like this kind of thing, the match overserved you. If you didn't, it was a perfect chance to get away for a bit. After trying Black table with a barbed wire, Copeland climbed off the top of the cage and dove off. He put Black through the table, but also landed on his feet instead of on the top of Black. It's painful looking, to say the least. While this wasn't quite as gruesome as, say, the Texas Death match between Swerve and Hangman, it's still violent and brutal. King and Matthews showed up, but they stood next to Copeland and made it look like they were siding with him before attacking him. After all three men beat on him, but the lights turned red and some eerie music began. Gangrel came out to the ring and attacked House of Black. Copeland used the barbed wire to apply crossface. Black passed out and the ref declared him the winner. It was pure chaos from start to finish. Both men are going to need some serious stitches after this, but I really enjoy these type of matches. The silliness with Gangrel cramming out, and I think the right decision for Edge to retain as well. I thought this was brilliant from start to finish. 8 out of 10. We then got Willow Nightingale against Mercedes Moné in the first of 3 main events. The CEO had a big entrance with Summers and So Girls on stage for a debut match. The champion was looking to establish dominance early by forcing Moné to the corner as the crowd chanted for both women over and over. Nightingale had control for a long time, but once Moné began working over her legs, the TBS champion found herself on the defence. This was surprisingly hard-hitting, fought with both women looking incredibly tough, which is even more impressive considering they had the most violent match of the year, and Mercedes hasn't wrestled in a year. Willow had the match won with a Dox bomb, but Chris and Stokely Hathaway accidentally distracted the referee, allowing the CEO to hit her finisher for a win. Stokely yelled at Willow for losing, but Stats shoved him to the mat. The stand attacked Willow as Stokes looked on with a smile. So I thought this was really good. Kind of an out for Willow, an interesting new storyline for Stat, one that I thought was needed while giving Moné the win, and her getting the bout. So I thought this worked well in multiple different ways and protected all involved. So yeah, I thought it's good. Creative future direction, 7 out of 10. We then got Swerve Strickland against Christian Cage for the world title. Strickland had his entrance inspired by the movie The Warriors. His gear was even clean, a reference to the cult classic. Prince Nana, Killswitch and Waynes were all at ringside for this match. They were slow to make contact, but once they locked up, they were vigorously fighting to take control. They ended up making a clean break and locking up again after coming to a stalemate. They took a different approach than a lot of the matches on the show. They took their time and spent a lot of time taunting, sizing each other up and going from 0 to 60 right away. Swerve was his usual impressive self, but this match was a reminder that at least 50 years old, Cage is still capable of putting on fantastic performances. After the ref was tricked into ejecting Nana from ringside, Nick and Killswitch attacked Swerve. The ref eventually wised up and rejected the entire patriarchy. The Mogul tried to use steel steps to his advantage, but ended up being sent into them by Cage. Nick returned and used a cutter behind the rest back, but Nana chased him through the crowd with a pipe. This may have gone a bit longer than needed, but everything we saw was well executed, and after several first finishes, Strickland hit the Swerve Stomp, followed by the House of Call for the win. And yeah, I think we all knew that Swerve was going to get the win here, but I thought, it was a really fun match to get there, and yeah, made him look strong, which was ultimately the aim of this. So yeah, 7 out of 10 from me. And in our main event, it was Team Elite versus Team AEW. And yeah, the Elite made their entrances, but the babyfaces attacked them to get the action underway immediately. Matthew grabbed a mic and made the production truck play the Bucks music as they fought, but Danielson put stop to that by having them play Final Countdown. The song played for a long time as all 8 battled through the arena. AEW showed the various pairs in a 4-way split screen at different times so we could follow all the mayhem. The crowd was singing and cheering the whole time. After the song stopped, the crowd chanted, "We want music." It was hard to follow the action at times until everyone made their way back to the ringside area, but that never stopped it being entertaining. Trying to summarise everything we saw at this point would be impossible, but at one point Perry appeared to run over Allen with a truck outside the arena. That's how crazy AEW tried to make this. As Perry was cramming back, he grabbed Tony Khan and tried to drag him to the ring. Allen showed up with a flamethrower and lit the former Jungle Boy on fire, which is a great spot. He was quickly extinguished, but it was still a wild moment to witness. Allen was tied to a cable from the rafters, and Harwood hit him with an exploding chair, and the Bucks shoes covered in tacks to kick Allen in the face as he was hung up like a piano. Much like the TNT title about your level of enjoyment, it's going to depend on how much chaos and non-violence you like in pro wrestling, but that's certainly a spectacle and nobody can deny that. And after being set ablaze, Perry hit Danielson with a running knee for the pin and a win. And yeah, brilliant finish. Really put Jack Perry over here as a star of this, and I thought the violence, once again, it's my sort of match from start to finish. Loved it, loved the chaos, and the Elite really looking strong. Jack Perry really establishing himself as the scapegoat, so I thought this was great and gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Overall, AEW Double Or Nothing 2024 gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I thought this was really, really strong, to be honest. Yeah, I thought, from start to finish, the violence, the Anarchy in the Arena, the TNT title match, the technical wrestling from the likes of Ospreay and Strong. I thought it had something for everybody on this show. Some great results and great matches across the board. Loved it.
For this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on our socials. Link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.